All right, thank you again. Still Delegate Michelle Guyton from District 42B for the record. And I am presenting to you House Bill 525. I brought this to you last year. We have done an enormous amount of work between last year and this year, and we have zero opposition to this bill. So we're very happy to bring that to you. And so I am asking you for a favorable opinion on the outdoor preschool licensing pilot program establishment. So this bill instructs MSDE, Office of Child Care, to establish a limited pilot program in order to study the feasibility, so not to automatically do it, but to study the feasibility of licensure for forest and nature preschool programs. In addition, the Maryland State Department of Education will collect data and report their findings of this initial licensing phase to determine whether or not to expand this program, right? The purpose of this pilot is to increase access to affordable, high-quality, data-driven early learning programs and to extend the benefits of nature-based learning to the families who choose to participate, right? The benefits of nature-based preschools are well documented, and I have a whole lot of experts here who are going to make that case for me, so I will not do that. I just want to make sure that you all know that this could also add capacity to our mixed delivery pre-K programs if we move forward with this, and that I have agreed with Clinton McSherry and Maryland Family Network, along with MSDE, to put one amendment onto this bill. You have it in your inboxes, or your department staff has it right now, and that is to postpone the beginning date of this pilot to allow MSDE to promulgate the appropriate regulations so that they will be able to do this and make sure that the public has some input as well. So I thank you for your favorable report, and we are happy to answer your questions.
Hi, my name is Monica Weedle-Lubinsky, and thank you, Madam Chair and Committee, for hearing our testimony today. I've been in the field of nature-based education for 25 years, and I'm the director of the nonprofit Eastern Region Association of Forest and Nature Schools. I can attest that the movement of nature-based education is strong and growing. Children are flourishing through active hands-on inquiry, and it seamlessly links social, emotional, physical, cognitive, language skills, all the good stuff with healthy outdoor learning, and that is cultivating early childhood and environmental literacy standards. These are evidence-based programs. They're backed with decades of research. According to one peer-reviewed study in 2019, researchers found that, quote, in academic contexts, nature-based instruction outperforms traditional instruction. And that's from Quo in 2019 from the Frontiers in Psychology. This pilot focuses on outdoor preschools, which are different from those that can already be licensed. Outdoor preschools use outdoor classrooms with no walls. This bill will establish a pilot with MSDE to explore how to license outdoor preschools to provide safe, equitable access to all families who choose it. Our colleagues in Washington State led a 4-year pilot that concluded children demonstrated kindergarten readiness that exceeded the state's average for other licensed care programs, and they found gains that overwhelmingly support the value of outdoor preschools. One crucial need for this pilot is that teachers in licensed settings are vetted. Right now, anyone can offer an unlicensed outdoor preschool that could potentially put children in unsafe situations, and these programs already exist. Perhaps the most compelling reason why we need this pilot is because children in low-resource communities rely on child care scholarships, but they can only use them in licensed programs. This perpetuates a systemic and inequitable barrier, excluding access for children who need to use state funds for early learning. And we don't find this acceptable. So I have more to say, but I'll conclude there, and thank you for your time and consideration.
Who'd like to go next? Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I am the founding director of Tree of Life Preschool at Cole Shalom here in Annapolis. In 2015, we opened the 5th nature preschool in Maryland. Since then, we've grown dramatically. My little Jewish nature preschool has attracted quite a diverse population. We are colorful. We have families representing all the continents, and families from many religions, Jewish, Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, and Christian, all celebrating nature together. Families find us for various reasons, but I want you to consider one of them right now. Many young children, and not a small lot of them, need more than what has become a traditional preschool experience. Families have come to me with young children who cannot flourish in their current preschool. They could not conform on demand to the needs of that structure. For far too many children, their needs, developmental, emotional, and social, cannot be balanced while they're indoors. Originally, the word work referenced respect for a child's time and focus. But today, work in many preschool programs simply limits the child. Work has become a cage for far too many of our children. I believe that education opens doors and must be taught well and clearly. I believe that children should be mightily challenged, not pushed. But learning is not confined by walls. Through free play in nature, we watch every child think, plan, evaluate, succeed, fail, join others, and move apart. They create, they deconstruct, and they even find peace. This is beautiful, and it demands our respect and attention. This outdoor preschool pilot program would secure this mission. I'm here today to ask for a favorable report and speak for all children in Maryland to find themselves in nature. So thank you.
Dear Madam Chair and members of the Ways and Means Committee, my name is Lisa Poe, and I'm the director of Little Bugs Nature Preschool. I'm a licensed family childcare in Calvert County, Maryland. My little bugs spend the majority of their day outdoors learning along the beautiful Chesapeake Bay. Even this morning, we were out in the rain. I have been a licensed program for 10 years, and I'm aware of the challenges that childcare providers are facing. Even before the pandemic, there has been a desperate need for more childcare availability. According to the most recent childcare demographics conducted by Maryland Family Network, we have lost close to 1,000 programs since 2019. Not only do licensed childcare facilities have long wait lists, but families are also looking for non-traditional programs like outdoor preschools. With nationwide movements such as 1,000 Hours Outside, families are searching for places where children can learn outdoors. The pandemic emphasized this need even more. The Maryland Blueprint for Early Childhood Education emphasizes equitable early childhood education opportunities and wants to build capacity for new and current programs. Outdoor preschools can provide just that. Let us advocate for programs that teach resiliency, strong executive functioning, and social emotional skills because they learn outdoors in all weather. Let's create additional spaces for children across our state in outdoor programs, which families are asking for. Outdoor preschools in the pilot program will be able to provide access and additional childcare spaces, which are so desperately needed. In the future, licensing outdoor preschools will also enable licensed programs like myself to grow and expand. I ask for a favorable vote for HB 525 to create equitable access for high-quality education options for all children and families in our state. Thank you.
Good afternoon. What a privilege to be in front of the Ways and Means Committee this afternoon. Thank you for your time. My name is Dr. Victoria Rose Brucifero. I've been an environmental educator and research scientist in Maryland for the last 12 years. I'm here to speak to some ways in which HB 525 would inform best practices in early childhood education and support socioeconomic and racial equity regarding who gets access to these types of programs. For as long as they've existed across the United States, nature and forest preschool enrollment has shown that the primary benefactors of outdoor education in early childhood come from a middle to upper class white demographic. This suggests that wealthy white families secure for their children all of the benefits of early connections to nature, including decreased stress levels, increased academic performance, higher test scores, enhanced memory retention, and strengthened immune systems, just to name a few. The Nature Preschool at Woodend, where I'm currently the director, was established in 2006. That is 17 years of serving primarily white families. We are long overdue for immediate action to examine and eliminate racial disproportionalities in our nature and forest preschools. To work towards diversity, equity, inclusion, and access, we need to remove the barriers that prevent the global majority from feeling like they don't belong in these programs. Namely, we need to be able to offer financial assistance to families, training incentives for teachers, quality assurance for the profession, and lower overhead costs for providers. The pilot would move us a step closer to answering each of those needs. Oh, I'm out of time. So by doing the pilot, we would be able to gain access to subsidies and scholarship program, be eligible for participation in teacher training programs that offer stipends and credentialing, establish a uniform set of high-quality standards across the state.
Thank you. Could you
And
wrap up, please?
alleviate financial burden. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to ask the committee, are there any questions for this panel? Delegate Ebersol.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And I've been to an outdoor one. There's one in the Howard County Conservancy. It's a great thing. So it's a good program. The bill references a couple of places adapting existing child care requirements. And so could you just suggest what those changes would have to be in order for you to function? You know, what requirements need to be lifted or changed for you? Just don't go into great detail, but give us an idea here.
I'll take that, sure. I think that that's the purpose of the pilot. Oh, sorry. Yes, I think that's the purpose really of the pilot. One of the discrepancies is that there are programs for this age range that are licensed as camps, and they operate fully outdoors, and they're licensed through Department of Health. And those same outdoor classrooms could be used, I mean, their emergency procedures are vetted, health and safety, toileting, all of those kinds of things. Those pieces are addressed through the camp licensing, but it's a different department, and it doesn't acknowledge that it's a form of early care. So I think that to most people's minds, those feel like the biggest pieces because they're what keep kids safe, and we want to work with MSDE to determine how can we do that year-round in a variety of conditions and in many different types of settings. So that would be I think that's probably what we want to examine very closely.
If I could add to that too, I would say that this is one of the few schools or organizations that we deal with, businesses, that actually ask us to come in and regulate them, because they are in existence. So whether we do nothing or we do something today, they're still going to be running their programs. What they're asking is actually to be elevated to the same requirements within the scope of their educational program that other preschools are being asked to rise to. And they're very willing to make those necessary changes, whatever those changes are that are decided by MSDE.
One quick follow-up, if I may. I think when I spoke with some folks, we talked about square footage requirements and things like that. So there's some logistic requirements that you might need to be lifted from in a reasonable way. That's one, and I've kind of fed it to you. I don't know if you're going to talk about that or if there's any others like that, things that other daycares might have to meet, which wouldn't really fit into your, the hitting of a square peg into a round hole kind of thing. Like they wouldn't really fit into your model. But if there's nothing else than that, then I can just leave it at that.
I'm not really sure without a little more thought, and I want to give you a good answer. So
Okay,
I'm not sure.
Thanks. I mean, it just.
I think the pilot will dig into.
I think it would help people, and the pilot would be great. It'll help people understand what the differences might be between what you need and what you're offering. So, but we'll get to it. That's fine.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Delegate Patterson.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you, Delegate Guyton, for bringing this to our attention again. I remember last year, and the question I had last year you answered, but I'm going to ask it again. With regards to the timing, and this is directed to the advocate who has his center in Calvert County. On a typical day, when you think about learning center, are there specific times that the children are out in nature? And if so, is it a parameter in terms of how far they go and where they go on a weekly or monthly basis? Because I would see some limitations if this is in the city, and I'm going to surmise that you're in a rural or semi-rural area.
So most of the outdoor preschool programs that are already in existence, there's one in Baltimore City, right in Baltimore City. Pertaining to I am a licensed program. I do have an indoor space, but we rarely make use of it. We take our learning outdoors at all times. We have our meals outdoors. I have a hand washing station outside. We do use the bathroom inside, but if there was an option of using the bathroom outdoors, we would. I am part of the 1,000 Hours Outside Challenge, and I can tell you we've tracked close to 150 hours outside this year already. We spend the majority of our door outdoors, and the children want to. I have many children with special needs, and they just thrive outdoors. That's where they play, that's where they learn. So I can only advocate for more outdoor learning in all programs across the state.
So it's really the space.
Yeah,
outdoor
so
space.
yes, I'm licensed as a family childcare for 8, and that is really pertaining to the fact that I'm in my own home, so it's my residence, and that limits me because right now I have 34 families on my wait list, and I don't know where to put them because I am contained in this space. Oh, you have this much square footage. You can only accommodate this many children. You do not have the right septic, which basically means I would have to purchase a commercial property in order to serve more families in my county, and that's just not feasible. And I want to serve more. I wish I could. I'm hoping with this pilot that eventually we will license outdoor preschools, and I will be part of that 100%.
Well, good luck with it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Delegate Palakovich-Carr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So just putting a finer point on Delegate Ebersol's earlier question, I think it'd be really helpful if you could all follow up with the specifics of where these kinds of providers don't meet the current requirements under the licensing so we can understand that.
Thank you, Delegate Palakovich-Carr. I appreciate that. I think part of the issue and the reason that they're having trouble expressing that is that because they have not been licensed in the past, it really is going to take a deep dive into that by MSDE. I can already tell you that some of the conversations that we have had, certainly with Clinton McSherry, that led to the amendment to give MSDE more time to promulgate regulations around this are some of those things. For instance, like an appropriate outdoor sink. What does that include? Making sure that any student, any school in the pilot may have access to one of those. Making sure that any school in the pilot also has a clear line of sight to the students at all times. So those sorts of things will be put in place for the pilot, but it will not be, I think, until the study is done that MSDE will decide, is it really just a square footage issue, which is the thing that comes up most often, or are there other larger obstacles that we can't get around? So this isn't guaranteeing licensure. This is trying to answer exactly the question you're asking. So thank you.
Any other questions from the committee for this panel? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. Mr. Clinton McSherry?
Madam Chair and honorable members, good afternoon. My name is Clinton McSherry, and I'm the Director of Public Policy at Maryland Family Network, a statewide early childhood advocacy organization. Thank you for this opportunity to testify in favor of House Bill 525. You have my written testimony, so I'll be very brief. Forest and nature schools, especially as they've been described here, sound like a lot of fun. It's almost enough to make me want to go back to pre-K. But instead, what I'll do, I think the advocates, the proponents have spoken very well about the merits of the program. I just want to commend the sponsor and the proponents for doing and sharing a lot of homework. I think the sponsor is actually, Delegate Knight is absolutely right. They did a lot of homework over the interim, and it's really and they've shared it with those of us who had a lot of questions last year. I also want to thank them for allowing us to work together on this legislation. I think adding a year to the implementation timeline is exactly what we need. And with that, Madam Chair, I just want to say thank you and appreciate your attention.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. McSherry? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. And we have 2 individuals signed up virtually, Beth Jarrett and Aaron Sprague.
Should one of us just hop on first?
You can go right ahead, Ms. Bragg.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Erin Sprague. I'm a Frederick County resident and mother of two. I am here today in support of a favorable vote for the outdoor preschool licensing pilot program. My investment in this bill is personal. My oldest child has a rare genetic disorder called SETD5. She has suffered from global developmental delays, low muscle tone, impaired learning, and focus issues since birth. During COVID, when her OT, PT, and speech therapies were halted, we enrolled her in a forest school in an attempt to support safe socialization and keep her active. Spending 3+ hours a day outdoors with nature as her classroom transformed my daughter. Through adventure walks and regular outdoor exploration, she drastically improved her strength and gross motor capacity. Through time spent digging in the dirt, building fairy gardens, and observing tracks in the snow, her focus and executive function improved. By jumping in puddles and rolling through the grass, she increased her proprioceptive and vestibular registration so that she is able to move more safely through the world. And through child-led free play with peers, she learned to see herself as a leader and developed lifelong tools for self-regulation. My daughter is now a first grader in public school with a pretty extensive IEP. However, she is physically strong, emotionally resilient, wildly curious, and very well resourced on how to use the natural world to calm her nervous system. The data shows the benefit of time outdoors for youth is extremely profound. I credit a large portion of my neurologically atypical daughter's current success to her time in outdoor education. While she will always be on her own unique timeline, this foundational experience gave her tools to better navigate the challenges of her life. I urge you to vote in favor of this bill so that more children and families in Maryland will have access to this life-changing early childhood experience.
Thank you. Next, Beth Jarrett, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair Atterbury and committee members. My name is Beth Jarrett, and I've lived in Maryland all my life. I grew up in Howard County, and I currently live in Lutherville, Maryland, and I've lived here for 8.5 years. I'm a mother of 3 Baltimore County students, and today I'm speaking on behalf of Free State PTA. Free State PTA supports House Bill 525's mission to encourage a play-based academic preschool education. As we've discussed, research shows that outdoor time for children is decreasing, and nature-based preschools provide access to the outdoors, which is associated with improved mental health, decreased chance of nearsightedness, reduced symptoms of ADHD and hyperactivity, improved motor function, problem solving, and resilience. Outdoor programs include lessons that encourage children to be ecologically conscious, such as an interest in animals, the importance of picking up litter, recycling, gardening, and so forth. Nature-based preschools prioritize time spent learning and playing in nature rather than doing structured, predetermined activities in a classroom. These activities give children hands-on experience in their own learning, such as science, math, pre-writing skills, risk-taking, and motor skills. My daughter was signed up to attend the Irvine Nature Center's preschool when COVID hit. We were devastated. We were so looking forward to her experience there. We felt so lucky that we had a nature-based preschool located nearby. A preschool designed to help children develop cognitive skills while cultivating social skills and building their confidence through nature, play, and exploration. My older son had attended camp there and had such an amazing experience that we were confident the preschool would be a perfect fit for my daughter. While teachers do plan some activities, children are encouraged to change the focus of an activity based on their interests. My daughter is now in first grade and missed her opportunity in a nature-based preschool, but I believe many other preschoolers should be able to experience this rich and fulfilling preschool experience as well. On behalf of the Free State PTA, we request a favorable report on House Bill 525. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee, are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. And that concludes the testimony on House Bill 525.